Well, it is currently the 1st of June as I record this, which means two things. One, it's the first day of winter, which, a fun fact, Australia is one of the only countries in the world that begins its seasons at the beginning of a month, as opposed to most of the world, which begins its seasons during the equinox or the solstice. The other thing that the 1st of June means, it's the beginning of Pride Month, which means we will have to be boycotting some companies this Pride Month. And this video is not just applicable to Pride Month; it's applicable throughout the year because companies do go woke throughout the 11 other months of the year. So I've created a bit of a game plan to help boycott. Happy Buggery Month. As I said, 30 days of non-stop woke, non-stop sin, non-stop narcissism. They'll be shoving this stupid shit down our throats like they shove. Actually, that analogy doesn't need finishing. It may seem daunting, but we can defeat them, and we can end wokeness for good. As I said, we have our secret weapon of boycotts. As Christians, you may not be Christians, because in fact, there's a lot of people. Obviously, Muslims are against the LGBT agenda. A lot of gay people are against it. A lot of everyday hardworking people, even people on the left, are sick and tired of this as well. So there's a huge coalition against the Pride movement. I saw a photo of some man had a microphone attached to his penis and a kid was talking in it. It wasn't an actual microphone, it was a pretend microphone. In a serious society, we would lock that man up for the rest of his life. We can't have these people out in society celebrating their perversion, pretending to perform fellatio with children. That's absolutely disgusting. But as Christians, we can't let them. We can't reward them with our business if they support that. And as I said, there's a huge coalition of support against the Pride movement, and we can accelerate that decline this year in the coming years, especially this year. Take for instance a car that's going downhill and the brakes don't work. That car is Pride. The Pride is going downhill and the brakes aren't working. I've created a 5-step process that I will show you in a minute to help you effectively boycott woke companies. And it takes all of us, and it may be hard, but it's for our children. It's for our children, so we can give them a society that we'd be proud to give them. We must tolerate the short-term pains of scorning, of mockery, of slander for the long-term gains. Step 1: identify a target, this is obviously the most obvious one. I use the word obvious twice. It's the most obvious step. You have to choose a company to boycott before you can do anything else. You have to make sure a boycott is reasonable and likely to succeed, which means some companies are not boycotting them is not feasible. For instance, I created this PowerPoint using Google Docs, but I created it on an Apple product. I'm recording this on an Apple product. I edit this on an Apple product, and I access most of my social medias on an Apple product. So if Apple were to suddenly go back tomorrow, we couldn't boycott Apple. It'd be far easier to boycott a company that we can live without. For instance, take a supermarket. Obviously, we can't live without supermarkets, but there are other supermarkets. There's not just one supermarket, unless you live in a small town. Some businesses, as I said, are too big to boycott, or a boycott would be infeasible. Say you live in a small town, and remember, you're not Australian, but in last year, Woolworths would not stock Australia Day paraphernalia. Because there's a big pushback from the left. Not so much this year, actually, but previous years there was a big pushback from the left against Australia Day celebrations. Rather, they would protest Australia Day. So people who live in a small town where their only shop they can access is Woolworths, the boycott wouldn't apply to them. But for the rest of us, who live in the cities and the suburbs, in regional towns, most towns have at least two. Most places in Australia have at least two supermarkets you can choose from. There's at least Woolworths and Coles, probably Aldi as well, Drake's, RGA, but the main two ones, Woolworths and Coles. So we have to do what we can to reduce the business with the woke company. If a boycott is not feasible. So if you live in a small town and Woolworths is the only major the only major supermarket, or it'd be too expensive for you to go away from Woolworths, buy what you must at Woolworths and try to buy what you can from another store. Step 2: organize a boycott. Now it's time to take to social media and announce your support for a boycott. Take Woolworths, for instance. If Woolworths were to go woke, we would go to social media and announce our support for a boycott. We'd push for the virality of a boycott. Hashtag boycott Woolworths or boycott Woolworths now. And we've got to ensure their support for a boycott, because we're only punishing ourselves if we do a boycott and there's nobody else supporting the boycott. And we have to provide an out for the boycott if the boycott is not successful. For instance, we could have a catch-all, like an overall boycott of all companies that change their logos on Twitter or social media to pride flags for June. And we boycott them just for the month of June, and the boycott ends before the end of June if they get rid of their social media pride logos. I hope I explained that well. If you don't understand what I was saying, feel free to leave a comment in the comment section. I'll probably be able to answer that for you. Step 3: lay out your demands for a boycott end. Different scenarios require different concessions. For Bud Light, which in 2023 they went work for, they were boycotted for partnering with Mulvaney, man dressed up as a woman. Dude feels like a lady. No, he's just a grifter. He knows he's not a woman. We would demand an apology and a repentance. Repentance being to promise to never work with LGBT activists, especially Dylan Mulvaney, ever again. For the US target, which it has similar branding too, but it is completely independent of the Australian target, we would demand an apology and a cessation of certain sales. Of course, what they were selling was Satanist paraphernalia and tuck-friendly merchandise, paraphernalia designed by Satanists. So we would demand them to stop selling that. For Woolworths, which of course, as I said, it went work in 2024 for it didn't sell Australia Day. It didn't sell Australia Day paraphernalia. We would demand an apology and the reinstatement of a product, that being Australia Day paraphernalia. And look, that boycott was successful. This year they actually did reinstate Australia Day paraphernalia. I cannot understate how vital it is that we clearly lay out our demands for a woke company. We must provide an out for the woke company in question, otherwise they have no reason to listen to us. Why would they listen to us if we will never shop there again? That wouldn't make sense. If you tell a company, we'll provide you with our business again if you just relent and if you stop being woke, then they'd listen to us, as opposed to we just said, we're never shopping here again, no matter what, even if you do go woke. Even if you stop being woke, however, I should say. There's some idiots on Twitter, I don't know if they're telling the truth or they're lying or if they're parody accounts or whatever, saying they still don't shop at Woolworths ever since they went woke in 2024, which is silly. Lots of silly people in the conservative Twitter sphere in Australia. Step 4: support competitors. We must shift our business away from the woke company, and that includes any sister companies. For instance, Bud Light was owned by Anheuser-Busch. They owned many other beer companies, including Rolling Rock, Corona, Budweiser. Fun fact about Corona: the sales actually just dropped off a cliff during the beginning of the COVID-19 pandemic because idiot Americans thought that the Corona beer had something to do with COVID-19, like it gave you COVID or something. These people vote, mind you. Corona, it's Latin for crown. It's got or king. It's got nothing to do with COVID-19. COVID-19 wasn't even the first coronavirus. SARS and MERS were both coronaviruses. That's beside the point. That's just an interesting story. If simple boycotts don't work, support competitors. Businesses may not worry too much. They may not squirm too much if they only see how much their money they're bringing go down. But to see their competitors going up and stealing market share from them, like take for instance when the market share following the first month or first quarter of a boycott is over, first 6 months, first year, if for instance the boycott's still going on, but mainly it'll be the first month or the first quarter since the boycott began, and there's a notable shift in the market share, and for instance the competitor now has the lead in the market share. That company's going to be listening. That woke company's going to be listening. They'll probably relent. Most businesses only speak one language. That is the language of the dollar. I should go back. If you're a shareholder in the woke company, consider selling you should sell your shares. They listen to shareholders far more than they do the average customer. Unfortunately, that's just the world we live in. And consider buying shares. If you're a shareholder, consider buying shares in the in its competitors. Obviously, that's not investment advice. Do research before investing. Sorry to jump in here, but I wanted to mention something that I forgot to mention in my original recording quickly. By the way, this video is adapted from one of my Substack articles. If you would like to see more videos adapted from Substack articles, feel free to request it in the comment section. You can access my Substack Hermtown in the description. Take, for instance, Apple, which we mentioned earlier. A company like them, it would be too hard to boycott. The next time you were in the market for technology products, consider their competitors such as Microsoft, Google, or Samsung. And feel free to pause the video right now and read the rest of step 4. Step 5. Accept a peace offering. The company has now relented, so what do you do now? Right. They analyze their concessions and evaluate whether their terms are acceptable. If so, end the boycott. If not, continue the boycott. For instance, remember when after the Summer Olympics opening ceremony, you had that gay blue Smurf man. What a fucking joke. You could see someone's dick during the opening ceremony. Anyways, they apologized, but many conservatives continued their boycott because they didn't find the apology suffice. And if we don't find this apology suffice, if we don't find their terms suffice, then we continue the boycott. And support. And if you do end the boycott, support the previously woke company to reward their repentance and to prevent a potential left-wing counter boycott. We need to be as loud when we support a previously woke company. We need to be as loud with our support as we were with our scorn of them. Because they're very good at forcing companies to do what they want, and because the right, we have to be like that. We have to. The right has to be as militant as the left does in most aspects. As not their values. The left values deeply evil things like abortion, and pride, and sodomy, and godlessness. But as it says, go woke, go broke. You can join my Patreon for as little as $5 a month. One of the tiers gets you shout outs. $5 I think I mentioned that. My YouTube, Twitter, Rumble, same handle, Malachi AUS Oz. You can follow me there, subscribe to me there. Substack Hermtown. I release Substacks weekly. I'm getting back into releasing Substacks weekly. I've got big plans for YouTube and my social medias. So you can consider giving me a subscribe on YouTube, follow on Twitter. What is it? Follow on Rumble. I upload all my videos to Rumble as well. But what do you think? What do you think of my plans? Do you agree with my steps? Do you disagree? Do you think you can add on, or what are your thoughts? Tell me what do you think of my 5-step process to boycott woke companies? So make sure you stay tuned to social media as to know what companies to boycott. I'd like to thank you all for watching. God bless you all, and see you next time. Happy Buggery Month. No, Happy Humility Month. We should do that. Happy Sex Inside of Marriage Month only. We should do that. That should be every month. Goodbye, guys.